This episode of Think About This is brought to you by Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong with your credit card, sends you an alert to your phone, and helps you fix them.
Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet? See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm Ross Martin.
I'm Shelly Palmer.
And you're listening to Think About This.
The more tacos you eat,
the more full you are and the more you want to eat after that.
I don't know.
Oh, my. All right, so we're very lucky today because all the way from Orange County, because, you know, they weren't going to leave there.
No.
Why would you leave?
No, definitely not.
We've got Rob Page,
Yep.
who is the Senior Director of Global Communications and Engagement for Taco Bell.
And we've got Jennifer Arno, who is the Senior Director of Retail Engagement and Experience, because you can't just have one without the other, at Taco Bell Corp.
So why on earth are we having Taco Bell people, despite the fact that we love Taco Bell, why are we having Taco Bell on Think About This?
Strongly love Taco Bell, but the reason is, Ross.
Well, look, this is an $11 billion brand, probably more by the time this episode airs.
But just by my cheesy gordita crunches alone.
They've got more than 7,000 restaurants.
Yep.
Probably even more than that. And you think of them as a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
But think about this. They're also a hotel and a resort. And you're like, what?
Wait a minute. Heaven on earth.
Yeah.
Rob,
so you don't
Jennifer,
just eat Taco Bell. You
Taco
go
Bell
to Taco
Hotel.
Bell.
You gotta help me here.
You can live in a Taco Bell.
You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. What's the story with the Taco Bell Hotel?
So, you think about Taco Bell, and yeah, Taco Bell is absolutely, we're a restaurant company serving, tacos all over the world, but we're also a lifestyle brand. And when you think about Taco Bell and how it appears just in culture, we have fashion lines and clothing that we're selling on our taco shop. And so when you really started to think about how the brand shows up for us, it made perfect sense for us to open a hotel in Palm Springs, California. And it was a limited time only hotel experience. And you think about the brand, we're known for limited time only products. So of course, why wouldn't we do a limited time only hotel experience?
The end of that story is more than 4.5 billion impressions, more than 5,000 stories about what you did. One couple got engaged there, Shelly.
Yeah.
And two couples had their freaking honeymoons at the Taco Bell Hotel. So now walk us through the experience. You arrive, you enter through a what, and then what do you see?
Of course, you were greeted with a mocktail, which was a Baja Blast cocktail with a popsicle in it. And you went through the whole journey. So once you checked in, we handed you a Taco Bell key card that was made out of our sauce packets. We walked you to the rooms. Every single detail was about the brand.
You know what was weird about it, though, Jennifer, is like when you lay down on the bed and instead of rose petals, it's like tortilla chips and taco shells. That was a little uncomfortable. But the rest of it was awesome, truly.
Also, why no booze? Why is there no booze?
Adult frosty beverages and Taco Bell? I don't know.
They're absolutely. We absolutely had that. But when you first walk in from a long drive, we had a bar that was at the poolside. But this was just right when you walked in the lobby. We were greeting you with a Baja Blast with a popsicle in it. So
delightful.
How did you get your resi at the Taco Bell Hotel? Was this like a contest-winning experience, or did you have to make your resis? And how was it charged for? And were there economics behind this thing, or was it just a thing?
No, we actually partnered with a hotel and we wanted it to be very similar to a hotel experience. We wanted as many of our fans to have this experience as possible. So we really just put it out there and said, hey, the reservations are going to be opening. We let people know. We got a tremendous amount of response from that. Everyone wanted to come, and that's why it sold out in 2 minutes. I think we just had an overwhelming number of people wanting to do this. And as far as the actual hotel itself, we wanted it to be affordable. We didn't want to have this be outrageous and unattainable. We wanted it to be accessible to our fans. And so it was priced very competitively. But to Jennifer's point, I think what fans really appreciated the most was the attention to detail, that this was an experience unlike any other thing that you've seen. And it was truly a Taco Bell fan experience. And that's really the way we approach this entire project, is put ourselves in the seat of the fan. What would they want to see? What would they want to experience that is one of a kind?
This was almost our love letter to our fans. And you saw it when people showed up at the hotel, what they were wearing. They were showing their love for the brand, either creating their own shirts or buying stuff that they had seen on Taco Shop. It really was this overwhelming experience of people who just loved the brand and wanted to hang out with other people that loved the brand.
So I have a guacamole question for you. The comedian Sebastian Maniscalco talks a lot on stage about how when you go to a restaurant and you ask for guacamole, the people who work there often look at you like you're crazy because it's like it's an upcharge. Is guacamole currently available at Taco Bell restaurants? And how did you integrate guacamole into the Taco Bell hotel? Was there a guacamole like mud scrub? Like what could you do? Like, did you think about, or am I just saying ideas that you already rejected because they're not feasible?
What I'm hoping is that there were cinnamon twists everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I'm actually hoping.
Unlimited.
Well, we actually had a lot of different moments to experience Taco Bell food at the resort. And we wanted to do it in a very playful and fun way. So if you think about staying somewhere for a couple of days, you're probably, as big of a Taco Bell fan, you're probably not going to want to eat it every meal. So we had your typical menu that was infused with some Taco Bell twists. But then, of course, we had your Taco Bell favorites that you could get. And we had also some things that were currently not available in our restaurants, but we were getting ready to launch.
So Rob talked about all the food, but my favorite part is we had what we called bell drops. And so, there's that iconic Taco Bell sound. You'll hear it on our commercials.
Sure,
that sound would go over the sound system. And then the servers would come out with complimentary food. And it would be stuff that you haven't had at Taco Bell, stuff that we were testing, stuff that we were trying. And so people would hear that iconic sound, cheer, and they would know that complimentary food was going to be served to them poolside.
Bless you, Taco Bell.
It
I
was
don't know why. Pavlov's dog. Ring the bell.
Absolutely.
Why don't they do that in Times Square? Like they could do that here.
That's a great idea. We'll have to think about that. Yeah, it was so much fun. And we did it throughout the day and night. And it was such a fun moment. Everyone would stand up from the pools and would be cheering. It was fantastic. So we did have our version of cinnamon twist there. I'm trying to remember if we had products with guacamole. I'm sure we did because everyone loves our guacamole.
The official call to taco. This big gong sound, and everyone jumps up and eats tacos. I'm ready.
How many times do you think our producers are going to play that bell sound in this
I don't know.
And then how many people are going to think that Taco Bell sponsored this episode? Here's my question to prove to people that they did not sponsor this episode, though they're free to if they wish.
We've played the Taco Bell gong sound exactly 4 times.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Hungry yet? That's 5. And Ross, before you ask that question, let's do our actual sponsor.
Hey, Ross.
Shelly.
You remember that guy, Dylan Miskowitz from Cafe Altura?
Yeah, he was looking for a director of coffee.
The company's doing so well, they need a new director of coffee.
You love his coffee.
I do. I'm a coffee drinker, and that's good coffee.
So whatever he's doing, it's working, and he's scaling.
And he's scaling.
The director of coffee continues to produce quality coffee for us.
And if you were going to recommend where Dylan might find his next director of coffee on top of his existing director of coffee, where would one go looking for a perfect director of coffee?
Easiest question you've asked me all episode.
Go ahead.
ZipRecruiter.com.
No, you're wrong.
Why?
It's ZipRecruiter.com/think.
Oh, right. We needed more conflict in our show, and you just got,
That's
you're
it,
right.
because if it's not ZipRecruiter.com/think, then you and I don't get credit for it. And by the way, we got to pay the bills.
I just want the coffee.
I understand. So what do? You go to ZipRecruiter.com/think. And by the way, it is no wonder that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter.com get quality candidates within the first day because they go to ZipRecruiter.com/think as opposed to just regular ZipRecruiter.com. 4 out of 5 people go to ZipRecruiter.com/think.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Absolutely.
See why ZipRecruiter is effective for businesses of all sizes. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/think.
You said it right.
I know, I got it right that time. ZipRecruiter.com/think.
Well done, Ross.
Twice in a row.
Good job.
Okay. What's the difference between a Taco Bell hotel and a Chipotle hotel?
Oh!
I think there's only one that exists.
Oh, because they haven't done it yet. But here's my question. Like, how, like, really? Like, I think you guys are in like a hand-to-hand combat with many of your competitors, and you have to come up with big ideas like this.
This was a big idea, guys. Not
How'd you sell it in?
like, how'd you sell this? I can just imagine the meeting in corporate. Hi, guys. I think we're going to build a hotel for the weekend. We're doing a pop-up hotel. Like, how'd you guys sell
Jennifer's
this in?
entire job is retail engagement and experience. So I think she's supposed to have ideas like this, but I don't think their CEO is waiting for Jennifer to walk in with Rob and be like, hey, we're going to make a hotel. How did that go?
People were talking about a Taco Bell resort years ago in social media. And when you lean into what your fans are thinking and wanting, I think you find the best ideas.
When you look at who we are as a brand and how we react and how we create cultural moments, this wasn't a hard sell. It was so obvious for us when you started looking at, to Rob's point, how our fans are engaging with us, how literally they're engaging with us by having their weddings at, the Las Vegas Cantina. It really wasn't a hard sell because our organization is all about really getting our fans together and celebrating our fans.
What advice do you have from your position saying, okay, we've looked at our brand, we've looked at the assets that are Taco Bell, we've looked at our consumer permissions, and we decided this was going to work. How did you strategically approach this in some way that makes this not just a one-off event that you guys are able to pull off, but more of a case study and a kind of a North Star and a beacon for other marketers?
I think there's always something interesting around an idea that has a little tension to it, that on the surface may seem a little whimsical or maybe almost not believable. Jennifer mentioned, getting married at our Las Vegas Cantina. That was an idea that we talked about, and it felt very on the surface like contrived, but actually it was a very authentic, genuine idea. We have people who write to us all the time saying, hey, I dated my fiance. We met, our first date was at a Taco Bell. We go to Taco Bell every week. We have people who use our little sauce packets that have the wisdoms on them. They say different little fun things. Mm-hmm. We have one that says, marry me. People actually use these to get engaged. People reach out to us and ask us, hey, can I have your taco truck come cater our wedding? And these are things that we're not making up. This is true fan love, but not everyone sees it on a mass level. And so I think what Jennifer and the teams have done a really great job at is taking a look at those cult fans and making it a mass play.
Do you think that the Graceland Get Married by the King all-night chapel in Las Vegas now has real competition from you guys? Because it might.
I'd like to think so.
Better.
How many weddings have we had now?
We've had about 200 to 300 weddings so far. People are booking them a year in advance. The difference with ours, though, is that, the difference with our wedding
you get the videotape and the witness and the flowers and the tacos for free thrown in one big package for $49.95.
Well, you can get a Cinnabon cake, which is delicious.
You don't throw a bouquet. Like, you throw what do you throw?
Wait a minute.
We do have flowers that are.
My wife remarry me.
Yeah, you should renew your vows.
I'm getting renewed.
Bell,
because if I could have a Cinnabon cake to renew my vows, I'm in it. I'm in it now.
You know what I'll also do for your wife is I will make her a bouquet made out of our sauce packets. We literally have flowers made out of our sauce packets.
Listen, we get sent swag every day from people who want to be on this show, but not like that.
No, that's also, awesome swag.
This whole thing reminds me of our episode with Morgan Spurlock where he opened the chicken restaurant. And the reason I bring it up is Morgan was very intentional about what he wanted people to feel and what he wanted people to do. So our question for you, Jennifer and Rob, is I know what you wanted us to feel, which is like our true fandom come to life in extraordinary ways. But when I leave a Taco Bell experience like that, what do you want me to do?
When we were working on this project, I kept asking myself, what does success look like? And for us, we wanted to get a group of people together that all had the same love for a brand that came from all these different places. I mean, we had people from all over the United States flying in to experience the hotel. And we wanted people just to hang out and have fun and make friendships. Yes, it was a moment, but what it was and the reason why we got 4.4 billion impressions, it wasn't us talking about it. It was actually them.
Right.
And if you look at giving them the power to just spend time together and talk about what they love, and just like-minded people from all walks of earth or planet or world, that's for us what we wanted. We wanted it to be the perfect vacation where, imagine you go to this place where it's stuff that you love and everyone can get together and just have fun and hang out and have cocktails or mocktails and celebrate the food. And I think we did that.
Taco Bell kind of is, it's a couple of things, right? It is a lifestyle, but it's also a place you go because you want to get something to eat quick and you like the way it tastes. And there's a whole bunch of things that go into the makeup. I'm sure you guys have spent a lot of time with your design targets, spent a lot of time thinking about who's coming to Taco Bell and how they experience it. But doing something as remarkable as building a hotel, limited time as opposed to a pop-up, thoughtfulness included. Okay, I've experienced it. What's next? Where am I? Have I reinforced something about the brand? Have I reinforced the lifestyle? What are the things that I come away from that you guys thought, not necessarily what success looked like, what do I do for an encore if I'm the consumer? Like, where does this go?
We honestly get that question all the time, internally, externally. My wife, Jennifer, like my boss, my agencies. I think that the interesting part about Taco Bell that a lot of people know who've been around the brand is that we're a brand of firsts. That we're always trying to come up with something to reward and excite our fans.
I have been eating at Taco Bell literally since Taco Bell started, and I grew up in a suburban area where drive-through Taco Bells was a big thing. But I remember it pretty fondly as the value provider. You could go there and feed a family of 4 for like $2. It was that number's probably incorrect, but even no matter how you look at it, it was always a very value-oriented meal. And somewhere in the middle of all this, Taco Bell has transcended that sort of high value for the family of feed a family of 15 for $10 and gotten to a place where it is a lifestyle choice, B, I won't call it a premium experience because that's not what it is, but it's certainly not the low cost, high super value business that it used to be. So was that a conscious transition, or how did you guys take this thing from I can feed a family of 4 for under $5 to where you guys are today, which is a completely different place?
Yeah, I think for Taco Bell, we have to appeal to the masses, and there's a bunch of different subsets of need states for our consumers. I mean, our consumer base is pretty broad, but you have a lot of value-oriented customers, but you also have to look at being more useful for different occasions. So if you think about things like group occasions, where most of the time people are ordering pizza, we want to be in that space. And so, we're launching things like taco party packs and, our nacho party packs. And we really want to make that easy for our consumers to access. We have 7,000 restaurants, but we want to make it as easy as possible. So things like delivery, mobile ordering, all of those things are really important in this day and age. But value will be always at the heart of who we are. It's funny you ask about this because at the opening of the Bell Hotel, Jennifer and I were standing for that kind of ceremonious ribbon cutting moment, and we were chatting with a representative of the Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce. And she pulled me aside, and Jennifer, and told us the story that when she was young, she went to her father used to take her family to the very first Taco Bell, which was founded in 1962 in Downey, California. And she said it was so great because he could buy them a meal, like you said, for several dollars. The family of 4 or 5 for $2 could be fed. And I think that's really a part of what Glenn Bell's vision was, and it's still a part of who we are today. But we're always going to stay relevant and adapt to what people want.
When do we get to go to the Bell Hotel in Times Square? Like, give us something so we don't have to wait forever.
We're opening a restaurant in Times Square.
Yes.
Coming in summer.
Yes.
And you've heard it. And I think you've heard it here first. I'm looking at you, Rob.
Yes,
I don't think we've told anyone else. This is
Bless you, Taco Bell.
an exclusive.
This is an exclusive with you guys.
Outstanding.
I'm so psyched. Right
This
now.
is awesome.
I'm going to get I'm going downstairs to get a taco.
Yeah, we're going to go for lunch now. We're going to go to Taco Bell, celebrate you guys, and we're not quite in Times Square. We're near Times Square, so we're going to one that
We
is
know
not
where
in
you
Times
are,
Square.
actually, right around here.
But we're going to Taco Bell.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging with us.
Thanks.
Thanks, you guys.
Shelly, I'm heading over to my friend Ron Ferris's house for the Super Bowl party that he's having. And, it's all about watching the commercials. He gamifies the whole thing with a bingo scorecard for what commercial's coming on when and how often and all that stuff. What are you doing for the Super Bowl?
I'm going to Steve and Jessica Ehrlich's house, and we're going to watch the commercials and maybe some football. Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the team that's going to win.
Good. I'm rooting for the 49ers or the Chiefs.
Okay. All right.
Excellent.
So we've got that established. Anyway, this is, as you like to say, this is the weekend where having a big screen television is actually.
By the way, if you're gonna sell TVs, it's Black Friday or this week. This is big screen TV heaven right now.
Okay, yeah. So here's
4K.
Here's the funny thing: in the last 24 hours, I have now heard from 5 media journalists who shall remain nameless because I don't want to embarrass them, who are covering the Super Bowl and whose beat is advertising, and none of them have a television in their home.
And you're surprised because.
Well, I mean, you're covering the freaking Super Bowl. Like, shouldn't you watch it on a television? Where are you going to watch
What's
it?
weird
Now
is
they
I
don't
know some of the people you're talking about.
Yes.
Some of them work for cable companies, which is even weirder.
Yeah. So here's what I propose we do.
Okay.
We send Robert, our producer, out into the field. We ask him to sit outside some of the media companies, especially those who have cable networks, and ask employees this morning as they walk in, how many of them actually have a television.
Pardon me.
Or cable.
Do you have a TV? Do you have cable? Do you work in the media business?
And like 60 to 70% of them they don't want their names mentioned, but there's no way they freaking have a television or cable.
Or if you're under 30,
no way.
Care. No. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Robert from the podcast Think About This with Shelly Palmer and Ross Martin. Can you tell me your name and where you work?
I work at Fox Sports.
Gabriella, do you have a TV in your house?
Yes.
Do you have cable?
Of course I do. I have to.
And I work at ESPN right over there.
Julie, do you have a TV at home?
No.
How do you plan on watching the Super Bowl?
On my cell phone, of course, like everybody else.
Hi there, what's your name? I'm And Steve, where do you work?
I work over at the New York Times.
Steve, do you have a TV at home?
No, absolutely not.
How do you plan on watching the Super Bowl this weekend?
Always on my tablet, I usually do.
Hi there, what's your name? Paige, where do you work?
MSG Network.
Paige, do you have a TV at home?
Nope.
How do you plan on watching the Super Bowl this weekend?
I'm gonna go to a bar like everyone else.
Hello, my name's
Paul, where do you work?
I'm currently working at BBC America.
Paul, do you have a TV in your home?
But of course.
Do you have cable?
No.
How do you plan on watching the Super Bowl this weekend?
Well, I'll be watching the impeachment hearings, actually.
Well, when you're done watching the impeachment, just hop on Apple, give us 5 stars, a quick comment or review, even better, and thank you for downloading and subscribing to Think About This with Shelly Palmer and Ross Martin. If you think you know less than you did before, just wait until our next episode on the Westwood One Podcast Network.